Hello again. I am back live for day 4 of 5 of the Complete Athlete video series as the new year, new mindset thing I'm doing. So I'm excited about today. We've talked so far about the mind, the body. Yesterday was the spirit, and today is the inner circle. So we're starting in the middle, mind, body, spirit, inner circle. Tomorrow will be the team. And these are all 5 elements of a complete athlete. And each of these elements, from my experience as a sports psychology expert, must be in place in order to unlock your maximum potential as an athlete. So quick background, if it's your first day joining in, my name is Rebecca Smith. I am a high performance coach specializing in work with kids age 8 to 18. I really enjoy working with gymnasts, individual sports, swimmers, tennis players, but I work with anybody who needs to perform under pressure. So the inner circle, and I was looking at my little diagram that I created for this. There's a toolkit, by the way, and if you haven't got the toolkit yet, it's just full of a lot of different parts of my video series, so that way you don't have to take notes. You can refer to it. Yesterday it had a meditation in it, and today it's got all the notes on all of the exercises I'm going to do with you. So you can get that for free at completeperformancecoaching.com/toolkit. And so anyway, I was looking at the diagram in the toolkit, and I was like, I call this inner circle, but it is a triangle. So I should have probably called it inner triangle, because you've got athlete up here, coach, and parent. And I typically deal with youth sports. So when we're dealing with a youth athlete, you must have all 3 parts of the triangle strong in order to unlock maximum potential. Now you can get by with a mean coach. You can get by with a parent who doesn't pay attention. You can't really get by with an athlete who's not that motivated, but you really need all 3 in alignment in order to have the absolute best youth sport experience and to have the best performances and the most flow. So think about it, and I was a coach for 15 years. I coached gymnastics, and I would see situations where we'd go, wow, this kid is talented. Oh my gosh, so exciting. They're a really fun kid to be with, but their parent is kind of not interested, and that would be really difficult. And now I work on the mental side, and I talk a lot with athletes who have a coach who's maybe mean or rude or just not effective for that personality. And that makes it really difficult for the athlete to get over blocks or to be the best athlete they can be when they feel like they're up against persecution from a coach. And then I've also had parents come to me and go, how do I get my kid motivated? My kid is so talented, but I can't get them to do what they need to do. Well, it's got to come from within. The drive has got to come from within. So it's futile for a coach and a parent to be like, come on, kid, get it together, if the kid's not interested, because then there's just going to be self-sabotage happening. So what I'm going to talk about today is how to strengthen your triangle and basically how to handle your point. So if you're a parent, how you can be the best version of that. If you're a coach, how you can be the best version of that. And if you're an athlete, what to do if your support squad or your inner triangle is not functioning well. So the first thing I do when somebody comes to me and then it becomes apparent that it's an inner triangle issue, like, gosh, I really want to please my mom, but I get super stressed out whenever she talks to me about gymnastics, or my coach used to be nice and then I started, not improving, and then they got really mean. So this is what I do. The first thing I do is I have them write 2 lists. One list of things you can control, and then another list of things you can't control. And people who I've worked with, I've probably had you do this because it's pretty foundational when you're dealing with relationships. So on your list of things you can control, you'll probably come up with things like fueling your body. That was day 2, the training, mental and physical. You can train your thoughts. You can train your body. You can take action. You can try. You can increase your effort. You can improve your attitude. You can show up and go, you know what? Even if the coach is being rude, I'm going to show up with a smile and I'm going to do the best I can. Even if my mom keeps scheduling vacations during training, I'm going to visualize and I'm going to, condition in my hotel room. I'm going to do what I can. So those are the things that you can control. And then what comes up on the can't control, it's, equipment and weather, but a lot of the time it's teammates, coaches, parents, other people. So what can you control? You. What can you not control? Other people. So how do you handle your point on the triangle without going crazy? And how do you unlock the maximum potential within those relationships? I'm going to give you some ideas of exercises that I like to do with people, and you are welcome to try them. Like I said, it's in the toolkit, CompletePerformanceCoaching.com/toolkit. I have a whole outline on these exercises I'm about to go through. So instead of taking notes, you can go download that. So we did the controllables. So I call it the controllables and the let goables because basically if you don't have control over it, why hold on? And people hold on so tight trying to change other people or convince them or show them that they should be different. And really the best thing you can do is let go and focus on what you can control. So if you find yourself in a position where you are really mad at the coach or the parent or even your kid, or if you're the parent and you're mad at the coach, if you've got some like major energy going on and that triangle is feeling super dysfunctional, I recommend writing a letter you don't intend to send. And you just write it out, dear coach, I am so mad. You did this, you did this, you did this. And you just let it all come out. Talk through everything you're thinking, everything they've done wrong, everything that you're mad about. And you just write. And again, you don't intend to send. Like this is not the yell at your coach exercise. So you write it all down, and then your next step is to go back through and look at all the things you're mad about and just circle the things that you do have control over and notice what you don't have control over. So if you're mad about things that you don't have control over, you got to let it go. I mean, that's easier said than done, but that's the idea. And then you look at the things that you can control. And you go back, and it's going to feel hard to take responsibility for any of it, especially if you're feeling really picked on. But I recommend going back through and writing down all the choices you made that got you to that situation. And, this isn't about you being bad or wrong at all. It's about you starting to find your own power in a situation that can feel really powerless. So you do things, you write like, I chose to join this gym. I chose to go to practice. I chose to try this skill. I chose to do gymnastics. I chose, whatever that is. You write down your choices, and then you can look back and go, okay, so I am choosing to be here. I'm choosing to keep training. I'm choosing to stay here because I believe that although this coach maybe is not the kindest coach, they are good and they are going to push me. I choose to stay with it. I choose to be around. So if you just go back and write, I chose, you can look back at it and go, okay, and now I can choose to tune them out if it's not kind, or I can choose to go elsewhere. Basically, your choices really come down to accept or change it. And that's it. Instead of, suffering through, you either accept it and go, okay, this is out of my control and it's worth sticking with it because I can see the benefit. Or you go, okay, it's time to make a different choice. So it can be really good in changing your perspective so that you're not going like, oh, everybody's messing me up. And you go, okay, what can I do about it? So that's the first, writing the letter you don't intend to send. And sometimes even just writing it, you can go, oh, that's kind of crazy. Like, I'm thinking crazy thoughts about this person that might not even be true. Like, I might be trying to read this person's mind and assuming that they think this. And here's a note on mind reading. It's not worth your time. Even if you're like, I know they're thinking this, unless you are upstairs in their mind, you don't know that. You can't know what's going on in their life. You can't know what's going on beneath the surface. So it's not even worth it. Really, if you're being honest, if I'm deciding I know what somebody's thinking, I'm really making up a story. And if that story I'm making up doesn't make me feel good, then what's the point? I might as well make up a story of, oh, well, she just got dumped, so of course she's sad, or whatever. So that's just a side note on mind reading. I don't recommend it. It's not very helpful. And if you're going to mind read, you might as well make up some kind of fabulous story that makes you feel good. Okay, then, so back to our triangle. If you're the athlete, your coach, or your parent is driving you nuts, or vice versa, one great thing to do is to do a gratitude journal. So when you get really mad at somebody, I know I keep going back to the coach, but it's a lot of kids I work with there. And I was a coach. I'm sure upset a lot of kids in my life. Sorry, everybody. You know, if you're watching and I've upset you in my gymnastics coaching career, apologize. I didn't mean to. But you tend to zero in on what somebody's doing wrong. So if I'm mad at my coach and I'm like, she doesn't give me enough spots and she doesn't pay attention to me, then I'm gonna zero in on that and be like, see, oh, she did it again, she did it again, she did it again. And it's like, I think about when I was younger, I had this huge crush on a firefighter and I saw fire trucks everywhere. I was like, another one, there's another fire truck. Oh my gosh, there's fire trucks everywhere. And I tell this guy, like, gosh, I've been seeing fire trucks everywhere. He's like, probably because you were thinking about me. And I was like, ooh, yep, probably. So whatever you're looking for, whatever's on your mind, you will see. If you're looking for your parent to be annoying, you're going to find it. Teenagers, it's true. If you're looking for your athlete to be unmotivated, you're going to see that. So make a choice to see something different by writing out between 5 and 10 things every single day about that person. You know, okay, my coach is a jerk, but I'm grateful that they are really well trained and they have coached some super high level athletes and they're doing the best they can. You come up with, you know, I really like his shoes, even if that's all you can come up with, because it starts to shift your perspective from what they're doing wrong to what they're doing right. And there's always something they're doing right. And then once you start to look for those things, they'll start to grow. And I swear there's like this energetic shift. When you stop giving them the evil eye every time you see them, they soften. So there's no guarantee, but you'll be surprised, I think, if you drop your guard, often they'll drop theirs. So writing out a gratitude journal. This helps not even just in relationships, but in perspective shift in general. It's easy to get kind of bogged down with what's not going right. Instead, make a habit of looking at what is going right in relationships. This made a huge difference in my marriage, side note. I used to get really grumpy about, oh, he's not washing the dishes or he's not blah, blah, blah. And so I set a reminder on my phone, this was years ago, that every time I pulled into my driveway, it asked me, what are you grateful for about Austin? And so before I could get out of my car, I would go, I'm grateful for, you know, whatever it was, that he went to work today and worked really hard. So then I'd always walk into the house with that. And so I've had athletes actually set a reminder on their phone when they show up at the pool, you know, to think about their swim coach, one thing that they're grateful for before they even walk in. And that can be, you know, it's a perspective shifter and maybe even a game changer. Third exercise of 3 that I'm going to share with you on how to strengthen the inner circle or the inner triangle is finding common goals. So you may have somebody that you're really butting heads with, whether it's your kid or your coach or your mom, and you write out a list of everything that you have in common as far as goals. Like you both want the athlete to succeed. You both want to qualify for this meet. You both, you know, you figure out all the things that you have in common, and then you focus on those, not the things that you're disagreeing on. Focus on what you have in common. This is a really great way, just leadership in general. Anytime you're having trouble getting people on the same page, stop yourself and go, what do they want? Okay, I want that too. Great, let's focus on that. Let's not focus so much on what we're disagreeing on. So that is a quick crash course in some exercises to really strengthen your inner circle, because that support squad is so critical. And a lot of the time when I talk with perfectionists, which I think a lot of athletes, especially young athletes and individual sport athletes, are guilty of. I don't want to say guilty of, but we are all mostly perfectionists. I speak for myself. I am a perfectionist, and I work with a lot of them. What we need in order to get out of our comfort zone and not self-sabotage is that unconditional love and support from our teammates, from our coaches, from our parents, from our siblings, whoever's the closest to us. Because I know this happens for me where I get scared. And I go, well, if I do this, if I make this goal, then I've got farther to fall. And I don't know if I want to be that good. I can just stay mediocre. Nobody will expect much of me. And I'll just, you know, I'll be like kind of in the middle where the judgment isn't. Instead, you know, my coaches and my husband, everybody's going, no, you can do this. You have this. Take a risk. We will love you no matter what. And having that strength around me makes it possible for me to do what I'm doing today, which is this dream career. So make sure that you are aligned with people who you can really feel supported by. And if you're not, then figure out what's within your control and go through those exercises and strengthen those relationships. So my challenge to you is to use one of those strategies that I gave you and just try it out. See what happens and let me know. I would love it if you would check in and go, oh my gosh, I'm doing the gratitude journal and my coach turned into a completely different person. So give it a shot, let me know, and I wish you the best of luck in sport and in relationships.